As Julia is talking about the midterms, this week we saw former President Trump's grip on the GOP was on full display in Ohio and in Indiana. Most candidates he endorsed won key primary races, chief among them JD Vance, of course, who's an author and venture capitalist. What I'm really interested in is the fact that President Trump, he's not taking this big victory lap. He's sort of saying, I'm going to wait and see what happens. What does that say about sort of how conservatives are approaching this as the midterms are approaching?
Well, there is this nervousness all of a sudden on the part of Republicans. We saw it, both you're talking about Trump seeming to be a little nervous about which races should he now take credit for as we go into the general election. You have to wonder if political advisors are telling him or telling the candidates that in the general election he might potentially be a liability. And we're also seeing this with Republicans in Washington over this potential, revocation of the Roe v. Wade precedent. It was really fascinating that Republican lawmakers wanted only to talk about the leak of Politico and whether it was illegal and that it should be investigated. And they didn't seem to want to talk about this historic victory that the conservative legal movement seems to be on the verge of, turning over a 50-year-old precedent. And you have to wonder, are they concerned that maybe the poll numbers don't look that good for them?
We only have a couple minutes left, but I want to go to you really quickly for 30 seconds, your reaction to what he's talking about, especially with the great reporting in this book.
Well, I wanted to link Roe versus Wade and the results of the Ohio primary. There's a reason, Yamiche, we called the book This Will Not Pass. I think there was this expectation among a lot of Americans, certainly on the left or center left, that, hey, after Trump is gone, everything's going to be okay. And that's yesterday's news. And I think that this potential opinion from the court and Trump being able to engineer the Ohio Senate primary shows that this will not pass, that Trumpism and the larger forces of tribalism and polarization that are shaping our politics today are ongoing. The story has not ended. And that's part of the reason we wrote this book, was to sort of capture the fact that this didn't end on Election Day when Biden won. This is not something that is sort of yesterday's news. It is now and it's tomorrow. And it's the biggest story of our time.
And Abby, I wanted to just turn to another subject that wasn't connected to all of this, but there was some history made this week, apart from the big scoop from the Supreme Court, and that is that the White House just announced that Karine Jean-Pierre, she's going to be the first Black woman and first openly gay woman to be the White House press secretary. Politics aside, what do you make of this moment and her at the podium?
Yeah, this is a year of a lot of significant firsts for Black women, in particular, Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, who will be seated this year. And this is yet another moment. I mean, the spokesperson for the government of the United States is a Black gay woman. And it's just another step forward in that element of progress, which is about just having these major roles in government, in politics, in law, being more representative of the whole country. And so the Biden administration, I think President Biden trying to make those significant moves, a Black vice president, Black woman vice president, Supreme Court justice, and now press secretary. It's significant, meaningful, and perhaps a nod to who he knows is a force behind him sitting in the White House in the first place, which is Black women who, as you know, Yamiche, and I know you know, J. Mart, really are they're the fuel behind a lot of the Democratic machine, especially in the South, but all across the country.
For Joe Biden especially, that's for sure.
And for Joe Biden especially.
For Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. Well, there was a lot to talk about, and I'm so grateful that all of you were here at this table. We're going to be continuing to talk about the politics of abortion and all of the things that are going on in the midterms. Thank you so much to Julia, Josh, Jonathan, and Abby for joining us and for sharing your reporting